Number 5, Super Bowl 43. As like Super Bowl 47, which came 4 years after this one, Super Bowl 43 also started out as a blowout, with Pittsburgh leading 20-7 at the beginning of the fourth quarter after James Harrison returned a 100-yard pick six right before halftime. But during the fourth quarter, Larry Fitzgerald helped the Cardinals storm back into the game as he caught 2 passes for touchdowns, one of them being a 65-yard slant and go, and the Cardinals took the lead 23-20 with less than 3 minutes to go. But after that, Big Ben and the Steelers went on a 78-yard drive, ending with a Santonio Holmes touchdown where he got his tippy toes in on the right sideline, and the Steelers won the game 27-23 after Kurt Warner fumbled with 15 seconds to go. And that stands as of now an NFL record 6 Super Bowls for the Steelers organization. Number 4, Super Bowl 34. Guess what? Another starting blowout made the list, because in the middle of the third quarter, the greatest show on turf, St. Louis Rams, had a 16-0 lead over the newly moved and renamed Tennessee Titans, who were originally the Houston Oilers. Although the game started out as a blowout, the Titans fought back rather quickly after the 16-0 lead. The Titans went to their run game and scored 2 Eddie George touchdowns, along with a 43-yard field goal to surprisingly tie the game at 16 apiece. After the tying field goal, on the first play of the Rams' next drive, Kurt Warner hit Isaac Bruce on a 73-yard catch-and-run touchdown, and the Rams took the lead 23-16. After that, the drama rages on. Quarterback Steve McNair leads the Titans from their own 12-yard line all the way down to about the Rams' 10-yard line, which is about 78 yards, in 1 minute and 42 seconds. When the Titans used their final timeout with 6 seconds to go, after Steve McNair scrambled and hit Kevin Dyson for a first down to the 10-yard line, the famous tackle happened. Steve McNair dropped back to throw and threw right to Dyson in the middle of the field at about the 3-yard line. Dyson dived for the end zone, but he was tackled at Mike Jones at the 1-yard line. And with that, the St. Louis Rams won their only Super Bowl as they beat the Titans 23-16. Number 3, Super Bowl 49. This Super Bowl, come to think of it, was played only 3 years ago, and many people consider it one of the greater Super Bowls of all time. The game started rather average though, as the Patriots jumped out to a 14-7 lead with less than 2 minutes to go in the half. That's when the Seahawks blew the doors off, driving 80 yards in 29 seconds, ending with a touchdown pass to wide receiver Chris Matthews, who is really never heard of again after this Super Bowl, with 2 seconds left in the half. And at the beginning of the fourth quarter, the Seahawks had a 24-14 lead over the Patriots. That's when Brady started to work his magic. He led the Patriots down the field twice with touchdowns to Danny Amendola and Julian Edelman, and took the lead 28-24 with 2 minutes left to play. After that, Russell Wilson led the Seahawks all the way down the field to the 1-yard line after an amazing catch by Jermaine Kearse. At that point, many people thought, oh no, the Patriots are going to lose again to an amazing catch, because it's happened before with Mario Manningham and David Tyree, both to the New York Giants in Super Bowls 42 and 46. And at the 1-yard line, it looked like the Seahawks would run the ball with 1 timeout to win the Super Bowl. But to many people's surprise, you know what, I'll let the play speak for itself.
As he has it, Wilson, quick throw, and it's that was a play to win the Super Bowl. What happened? Oh no!
And with that, Tom Brady won his 4th ring in a very surprising fashion, as the Patriots won the Super Bowl 28-24 over the Seattle Seahawks. Number 2, Super Bowl 42. The number 2 Super Bowl of all time in my case had the 16-0 New England Patriots and the wild card New York Giants competing for a make-or-break Lombardi Trophy in Arizona. The Giants had the lead 10-7 in the middle of the fourth quarter until Tom Brady hit wide receiver Randy Moss for a touchdown to give the Patriots the lead 14-0. And on 3rd and 7, on the next drive for the Giants, with 1:42 left to play in regulation, quarterback Eli Manning maneuvers out of a Richard Seymour sack and fires deep for backup receiver David Tyree in the middle of the field. It was him and Rodney Harrison, one-on-one. Both jump up for the ball. David Tyree has it, and he pinned it to his helmet. The play that would soon be called the helmet catch resulted in a game-winning touchdown to wide receiver Plexico Burress, and it ended New England's bid at an undefeated season, and the Giants upset the Patriots 17-14 in one of the biggest upsets in NFL history. And the number one Super Bowl of all time, which shouldn't be a surprise at all, is Super Bowl 51. There are simply no words to explain how this was the best Super Bowl of all time. Well, there are, and I'm going to say them. Since it was only 2017, which was a terrible year to begin with, everyone should know how it ended. The Falcons jumped out to an early 28-3 lead in the middle of the third quarter, which included an 80-yard Robert Alford pick six right before halftime, and at that point it had seemed as if the game were already over. Cue Tom Brady. He orchestrated the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history and one of the greatest comebacks of all time, as the Patriots scored 25 unanswered points, which included 2 touchdowns and a 2-point conversion from James White, and a touchdown and 2-point conversion from Danny Amendola. A strip sack by Dante Hightower after the Patriots' first touchdown, and the Falcons choking the game after an amazing catch by Julio Jones, losing 23 yards after being in field goal range and going 3-and-out, which allowed the Patriots to score the game-tying touchdown and 2-point conversion. That, of course, forced overtime, and it's the only Super Bowl in NFL history to go into overtime, and the second championship game to go into overtime, and as the first one was the 1958 NFL Championship, which was called the greatest game ever played, even though now we realize it really wasn't. There have been better games since then. But either way, back to Super Bowl 51. The game went into overtime, and the Patriots drove 75 yards down the field to a walk-off touchdown by James White to win the first Super Bowl to go into overtime, as the Patriots won, in my opinion, the greatest and most entertaining Super Bowl of all time.